Okay, guys, so I'm swearing this now. I'm going to try my best and finish Lily's path. There's only six more, hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, six more, of the choices I have to make to finish Lily's path. So I'm swearing this now that I'm going to finish this video. Because I leave on Monday. I leave the country on Monday. Yay. But, like, if I don't, then tomorrow I'll make another video finishing the game and then post it on Tuesday, the day after I leave. Just so I can, do that. But let's just start. Okay, so we left off here after we just made the go for a walk into town choice. So following Hanako to the library seems a bit intrusive. There's a reason she left the classroom after all. And that aside, I do want to catch up with Lily, at the very least. I'd like to thank her for looking out for me, despite her other obvious taxing duties. I guess I'll walk around town. With any luck, I should be able to find Lily. The exercise will do me some good as well. Having seen a fair portion of town, even included the houses perched on the hills around the outskirts, I decided to take a walk around the park before heading it back. Living in a city all my life, the total lack of smartly dressed businessmen and fashionably dressed girls strikes me as incredibly unusual. All that's to be seen are the odd elderly person shuffling along the sidewalk and assorted, busily chatting pairs of middle-aged women outside of small storefronts. Walking along the road to the park quickly distracts me from them, though making me realize that I perhaps pushed myself further than I should have done to see as much as I could. As my breath begins to wheeze and my chest tightens more and more, I give up on the prospect of soldiering on. After a quick glance around the park as I enter, I take a seat on a wobbly old bench. Then I notice near a couple of vending machines. For a minute on end, I sit with my head bent over, forcing myself to take deep breaths. I feel more like an old man than a teenager who should be in the prime of his life. The stay in hospital, the surgery, and the medications must be taking their toll on me. Damn it. Eventually, my breathing returns to normal, and the muscles in my chest loosen, not without a fair measure of relief. I guess that means the end of my little sojourn thought, in any case. There's a cafe in the far corner, so I'll stop by to quench my thirst before heading back. A little bell above the door signals my arrival to enter an empty counter. For a few moments, I stand there waiting, my eyes every now and again drifting from one end of the counter to the other, searching for a service bell. Eventually a door some ways behind the counter opens. The person emerging from it, taking me by complete surprise. Yuko? Yeah, it's Yuko. Hi, I had no idea you worked here. I really have no idea how to address her either, given that she is technically school staff as well as apparently a waitress. Yes, She quickly paces up to the counter before flying her upper half downward in an overacted bow. Welcome to Shanghai. May I take your order? Straight down to business, I see. So if I would have picked to follow Hanako to the library, who would have been in the library working there? I don't know. Unless there would be nobody there and the library's closed, or just nobody's there. So, I don't know. I don't know. Well, some coffee, please. Yes, certainly. I'll make it right away and bring it to you when it's done. Thanks. Yuko's formality takes me aback. She seems to take her job very seriously. Obeying her instructions, I turn around and quickly glance around for a free table. Considering the cafe seems to be empty, this is a simple task to accomplish. As I walk towards the table adjacent to the window, I notice a flash of yellow around one of the table dividers. Sure enough, no more than a glance is needed to this is a certain Sato at the table. That said, I don't recognize the suited figure across the table from her. Yeah, look at this guy. Blonde, fair-skinned, and only a little shorter. I think she must be a relative. Yeah. Since the two are all but silent as the suited figure takes a swig from a cup of coffee, I decided to greet Lily. Some part of my coming here was in order to meet her, after all. Hi, Lily. Hisao? Yes, yeah, nice to see you again. The suited girl looks up, noting my uniform with a relaxed smile. Know each other? I guess. It's as good an approximation of our relationship as I can think of. Care to take a seat? She says this to the air beside me, but the message is clear enough and I take a seat beside her. I suppose some introductions might be in order. Hisao, this is Akari Sato, my older sister. Akari, this is Hisao Nakai, another Yamka student. Looks like my guess was correct. The newly introduction, Akari gives a nod, which I return. What I don't return, however, is the almost analytical gaze with which she looks me over. Okay. As she does so, Yuko walks up to the table and carefully places the coffee on the table before bowing and taking her leave. Okay. Gently bringing my hand to the side of the cup, I realize that it's already at just the right temperature to drink. After taking a sip, the flavor turns out to be just as good as the temperature. Yuko seems to be a lot better at this than being a librarian. I want coffee. I take a good long drink before relaxing into the seat. It takes more seconds for Akari's examination to come to an end. Apparently becoming quickly bored with the activity, she turns to her sister. So, how's school recently? It seems Akari is entirely unconcerned, right? With someone she doesn't know at all, listening to everything they say. Not that I mind leaving them to their own chatting, I sit back and continue drinking the pleasant, aromatic coffee. Yeah, I really want coffee. Might make coffee after this. Sounds like it's pretty busy for you, then. At least I'm not cooking your meals after school anymore. Okay. As they talk, I slowly realize that I'm entirely unable to gauge Lily's emotions through her eyes, as I would for any other person. It becomes slightly unsettling as I subconsciously focus on that fact. Whoa, so cold. Weren't you just cooking for yourself anyway? I only ever got leftovers. That's not the point. Are you managing to feed yourself at least? I can cook without blowing myself up, you know. Mostly. That's... It's fine. I need to learn sometime anyway. Okay. Lily... Everyone present is momentarily distracted by Yuko, who places a cup of tea on the table for Lily. Taking the moment to glance at her watch, Akari leaves herself off her seat and gives me a quick nod. Well, I'd better be off. It was nice talking to you, Lily. Akari, do you have to? Lily looks genuinely mournful at her sister suddenly leaving. It does seem like she might have the wrong idea. Sorry, I need to get back to work. They'll be on my neck again if I don't make it back quickly. So informal, Akari's trim and tidy appearance would give anyone the wrong impression of her. Bye, Akari. Come on, don't look so down. I'll be around again soon. See us. Okay. With that, she waltzed out of Shanghai with her hand held high. Lily still looks pretty depressed, so I try to make some small talk in an effort to take her mind off it. She seems nice. We used to live together, but now that I live at school, we hardly ever see each other. Despite Lily having been quite affable, I still don't really know much about her. In hindsight, it's surprising just how much she's extracted from me, really. Used to live together? Was it somewhere around here? It was pretty far south, so the trip into Yamaku was fairly long. Without her working hours getting longer and Yamaku being so far away, there was little choice in the end but to move into the dormitories. Well, that explains the chatter about cooking. Evidently regaining her composure, she lines back up, at least in part. She lightens back. Okay. I take it you're better rested now? Sorry. You sound less exhausted than you did when you first came in. To be able to pick out my breath like that, she must have pretty good ears. Yeah, ended up walking all over town, despite only planning to take a short walk down here. Reminded of my thirst from the walk, I lean forward to take a sip. Without further ado, Lily starts on her cup of strong-smelling tea. I guess I'd better get going back to Yamaku. There's only so long I can stall studying for, and I want to get a good night's sleep before the festival. Standing from my seat, I take the coffee-stained cup from the table. You're leaving? Yeah, you going to head back as well? It's getting kind of late. For a moment she pauses before lifting her face over her teacup as if she was looking at me. Yuko, could we have one more coffee, please? Okay, I'll bring you right out. That's not subtle. She gives a short giggle at my frank assessment of her maneuver. It's surprisingly childish and carefree, given her otherwise collected appearance. In the end, though, I have little reason to refuse. To be honest, I can hardly say no, all things considered. Giving a manufactured sight, I take a seat opposing her. Wanting company, then. I'd say that it's more that I was wondering. I see, she's in questioning mode again. She does seem to be unusually interested in me, or at least curious. Do you have any siblings? Not exactly as unexpected tangent. No, only child. To be honest, the idea of having someone that close makes me a bit envious. Interesting. I raise an eyebrow, which of course goes unseen. The short silence communicates the question well enough. It's just that others have said the same thing before. It's a difficult subject to try and think about objectively, given that I've always had someone like that. I don't like siblings. I can mostly understand what Lily means, given that it would be hard to place oneself outside of a situation they've been in all their life. Yeah. She and her sister must have a pretty close relationship. Taking pains to interrupt us as little as possible, Yuko dutifully comes over and places the cup on the table. Lily thanks her as I sit back, taking in the vexing girl in front of me. Despite always seeming to be on her guard and in control of herself, when talking to others, she has an almost childlike curiosity about other people. That said, those rare moments she seems to slightly lower her guard are the most insightful into how she thinks. Okay. Reaching forward for my drink, I realized something I probably should have noticed earlier. I think I'm starting to become kind of curious about her. The next day, I wake up feeling a little lightheaded. It's almost noon already. Sleeping late is fine since it's a Sunday and there are no classes. Not just a Sunday, though, but the festival as well. From my window, I can already see some people at the soba booth slinging noodles onto plates for people with a craving for low-quality food. I throw back a handful of my morning meds and ponder how to spend the day. There will be a few exams in the coming week, but I don't consider those as ominous as others. So I'm not as worried about them as I probably should be. Yeah. So the next one I have to do, I believe it's gonna appear this day, but the one after the next choice I have to make has something to do with Kenji. So I'm gonna talk to Kenji about that or something like that. Or Kenji's gonna approach me and start talking, because what it says here, it says his, and Kenji is the only other male character in the game that we talk to. Well, not really. But Kenji, is insane, and that's what it says in the question I have to do. So yeah. With no urgent obligations regarding education, I should be free to spend the day at the festival as I like. I want to go see Lily. Finishing my morning routine, I exit into the hallway, intended to go out and find something to eat. After buying a plastic plate of takoyaki from a stall belonging to the class the next 2 hours, I take a seat in the school gardens and watch people pass as I tentatively nibble away at the rather bland tasting item. I guess I shouldn't complain. It's better than nothing, and it didn't cost much. As I look out towards the school, watching the people coming and going proves a surprisingly entertaining way of passing the time as I eat. It's better. What? Gah! The sound of the Caroline bells takes me completely by surprise as I stand up, a reaction shared by a few of the people strolling around as well. The PA system crackles to life after the tolling bells end. Its age shows as the principal makes a barely intelligible announcement over it. Ineligible, okay. Officially opening the festival that's very much in full swing. It's quite amusing to contrast the pleasant smiles of the older folk against the alternative paint and board grimace of their young charges. The students, on the other hand, seem to pay it little heed. Nevertheless, as the address finally ends, all are united in polite, if not overly enthusiastic, applause, and then get back to business, okay? Slipping a hand in my pocket, it looks as relaxed and possible. I casually glance around for something to do. It's somewhat difficult to see very far with all the people around. I decide to fall back on a tried and a trusted rule: go where everyone else seems to be gathering right now. That's the school courtyard and surroundings. Throwing the used plate into a trash can, I make my way towards the school building. Seeing the number of stalls around the perimeter of the school building surprises me. Quite a few of the classes must have opted to have multiple stalls. In deciding which to visit first, I catch sight of a familiar banner with a blue pattern border and red text. Lily's stall is as good a place to start as any. I'm curious as to how it's going. After all of the workers she and her class have been doing for it. Is this it? I don't know, it looks like it. There's the blue and then there's the red. Stepping up to it, I began to see why the class took so long to organize everything. It's ice cream or what is this? I don't know. Easily twice as wide as many other stalls and the equipment for cooking strewn everywhere, it's closer to an outdoor restaurant than a festival event. As the student in front of me takes a bowl of noodles and leaves, I walk up to the counter. Noodles, okay? The girl behind it seems quite exasperated and asks me to wait a moment before she disappears underneath the counter. Seizing the moment, I take a quick glance around. Steam seems to be rising from everywhere as pot and pans simmer away. The most blind of the students are unpacking ingredients while being helped by someone who's probably the teacher of 3-2. It doesn't take long to notice Lily among them, talking with the teacher as she quickly counts out the boxes and packets with her fingers. From her expression and the fact that both she and the teacher seem to be in a state of mild confusion, it appears that there's been some problem in coordination. Before I can stare any longer, the girl behind the counter pops up again, only to look back and ask where the spare change box is. Why would I know that? Lily pauses for a moment before she and the girl switches places at the counter, and the teacher quickly walks off somewhere. Okay. Sorry about that. We're having a few problems. What would you like? It takes me a second to remember what I'd come here for. My eyes quickly dart to the side and read the menu sitting on the counter. Oh, I guess some miso soup. Ah, is that Hisao? Yep, looks like you're pretty busy. Her face all but confirms it as she drops her waitress facade. Somewhere along the line, our order got mixed up. We're trying to fix it now, but it looks like we only have half of what we need. Wouldn't serving similar portions cover up the problem? Smaller portions. Okay. It seems like that's what we'll have to do, though I wish we didn't. The fact that a good half of our class is gone, it doesn't help either. I glance behind her to see how many people are actually operating the stall. It couldn't be over about 8. I take it that's why your teacher left? That's right, she's going to try and round up a few more of our classmates to help. Hearing the sound of footsteps behind me, I stealthily glance backwards to see an elderly couple taking in place of the line. I guess I'd better stop loitering around and chatting. Here's the money for the soup. Soup. Oh right, coming right up. Lily turns and calls for a bowl of miso soup, and I hand over the money for it. Taking the coin in her palm, I can't help but notice how efficiently she counts them out with her long, pale fingers. Eventually satisfied that I've handed over correct change, she puts it in a small metal tray. It isn't long before the soup is made and carefully handed to her, after which she turns and subsequently passes it to me. Thanks, I'll come back to drop off the bowl. Thank you, Hisao. Oh, there's one other thing. Have you seen Hanako? Hanako? No, not today. Why? She gives a small sigh of abject disappointment. It's okay, I was just wondering what she was doing for the festival. You'll come back when you're done, then. Sure, I'll keep an eye out for Hanako, too. Thank you, Hisao. Okay, I walk out from the stall and find the seat carefully cradling the steaming wooden bowl in both hands. Compared to the dumplings from before, this is quite nice. A little cool compared to what it probably should be, perhaps, but the flavor is enough to cover for that reasonably well. As I drink, I can't help but feel somewhat guilty for not being as involved in the festival as the others. It can't really be helped, considering I was jobbed into the school only a week ago. But it still weighs heavily on my mind. The fact that a few students don't really seem to be enjoying the festival as much as the visitors. Eventually, I finish my bowl and leave for the stalls to drop it off. Considering that there's still to be no line at all, I take my time walking up. It seems the teacher's mission paid off. There are now over a dozen students helping, and much of the unpacking has been done. Despite most of them seeming quite relaxed as they work, Lily still appears to be somewhat stressed. Right, I know what I'll do. Even if it's just one person, I'll make the festival more enjoyable for her. As I place the bowl on the counter, I call out to Lily. Ah, he's telling you brought it back. Yeah, here. I slide it into her hands and she takes it over to someone who is apparently on cleaning duty. Considering that I didn't see them here before, it's probably a penalty of their tardiness. Hey, Lily. She perks up and returns to the counter as she hears my voice again, realizing that I'm still here. Want to go see some more of the festival? She puffs her cheek disapprovingly. It looks kind of cute. And in complete contradiction to her usual reserved nature. It takes a few seconds for me to get what she's taking issue with. Whoops. I didn't mean to. Lily giggles at me, exposing her teasing for what it is. You're still not used to the school, are you? She got me. Still, I kind of need to stay with our stall. It's taken until just now to even get everything unpacked. I guess her reluctance shouldn't overly surprise me, considering how much work she's put into this. Everything seems to be running fine now, though. Besides, you've got extra help on hand anyway. A boy in the middle of cooking some soba noodles turns towards us, grinning. Go on, go on, Lils. You've earned yourself a break. We can hold down the fort for now. If you say it's okay, then I suppose so. But if you need any help, then we'll call you. Go on, we'll be fine. Lily finally gives up her resistance as he waves a spatula at her. She feels her way around the back of the stall and picks up her cane on the way. I guess the first thing we should do is look for Hanako. Lily seems kind of worried about her. And I doubt she'd be the kind of person to enjoy miling around in crowds like this all alone. So I guess we should search for Hanako. Where to first? The both of us go quiet for a moment to think. Maybe she's in her dorm room? I doubt it. She doesn't keep too many things in there, so she had nothing to do. She'd have nothing to do. The library? The library. As good a place as any to search for an avid reader, I suppose. The library it is. We'll check there first then. Aside from the muffled sounds of the crowd seeping from outside, the inside of the school seems almost deserted. In order to make sure everyone had enough room, I guess all the events were organized to be held outside of school grounds. They're definitely quite large by any other school standards. It's nice and quiet in here, isn't it? Yeah, much nicer than the hustle and bustle outside. We take our time and slowly walk through the first floor of the school, eventually reaching the stairs to the second floor. I can't help but notice how Lily anticipates every door and obstacle, her cane remaining still and her hand skating along the hallway railing. You really know the school well, don't you? She smiles and nods straight ahead. I've been here for a few years now, so I know where everything is. The dorms still trip me up, though. Sometimes I haven't been there as long, and they're not as well laid out as the main building. If I'm remembering right, they used to be unused buildings before being renovated and used as dormitories. That explains why the males and female dorms look different from the outside, and why their rooms seem kind of unusual for sleeping quarters. Yeah, ugly. I'd assume she'd been living in the dormitories since she began attending the school. But now I'm reminded of what she said yesterday. That's right, you mentioned that before. I'd assume that most of the students here live in the dormitories once they enrolled. A lot of them seem to, in any case. Lily's expression became somewhat hard to read. My questioning evidently touching on a delicate point. Well, how should I say? Everyone has their reason. Something tells me that one of those with reasons is Hanako, hence her tiptoeing around the Since you're tiptoeing around the answer, my own predicament is yet another such case. Oh man. Okay. I guess it's a choice everyone here would have to make for themselves, or in my instance, have made for them. It can't be helped. I suppose at least Yamaku itself seems like a nice place. It's good to hear you say that. I thought you were coming to dislike it. What about you, though? My reversal of Lily's statement takes her by surprise. I've been here for a while, so... It's not that. You just seem pretty desperate about Akari. Depressed, okay. What's with that look? Akiri's taken. Sorry, Hisao. Okay, I was not asking that. Okay? Lily never sees how fast my palm meets my face at her sly accusation. Hey, I was worried about you. That's no way to respond to concern. While she gives an amused grin, we round the corner of the hallway and enter the library. Hanako. As we do so, it isn't hard to spot Hanako, considering that the room is completely devoid of anyone else. Given that there are no staff around, I guess there's no need to heed the usual library rules. I call out to her. Hey, Hanako! Hanako is here? As she hears our voice, Hanako's head flicks up from behind a book. Probably the same one she's been reading on Friday. Hisao, Lily. Just thought we'd drop by. Lily just managed to escape from the noodle stall with a little help. That wasn't really an escape. Hanako gives a small giggle, briefly surprising both of us. I just thought that Lily might not be enjoying the festival. Well, now we can enjoy it together, right? The two nod happily before we set out of the library and towards the festivities. I hand over some change to the girl behind the counter and take the 2 styrofoam cups of tea. I try to accentuate my bow a bit to cover for the fact that she's quite obviously deaf. Come to think of it, I probably should have asked for help instead of leaving those 2 in the garden while I brought drinks. Trying to judge the 2 cups of hot tea for them, and a can of coffee for myself out of the vending machine isn't exactly easy. Well, you can put the cup of coffee or the can of coffee in your pocket because it's the can you got from a vending machine, and then carry in both hands the 2 hot teas and stuff. Yeah. With some careful maneuvering, though, I managed to keep everything stable and upright as I walk over to the bench where Lily and Hanako are sitting and chatting. It's actually quite a nice place, lit only by moonlight. It's tucked away some distance from the main events. Compared to how hot it has been during the day, the spot is pleasantly cool by now. Not that it matters all that much. Most of the visitors have moved to areas that are either closer to the fireworks or higher on the hill in order to view the display apparently planned. Welcome back, Hisao. Her ears are good. It's not exactly close to even Hanako. It's not even exactly close. I'm not even exactly close, and Hanako hadn't noticed me. Okay. Here you go. Sorry it's instant, but that's all they had left by now. Hanako gingerly takes the cup from my right hand, and I gently place the other into Lily's outstretched hands. Did you enjoy the festival then, Hisao? Yeah, it was pretty fun. An honest answer, much of the food may have been somewhat subpar, but it was a lot of fun in the end, especially with Hanako and Lily. In fact, I think those 2 may have enjoyed themselves even more than I did. with both Lily and me around. Much of Hanako's withdrawn nature around others died down enough for her to enjoy herself. Bam! It's fireworks! Fire! Bam! 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 Fireworks! As we sit drinking, the whilst of the fireworks ring out before it explodes into a vibrant shower of blue against the night sky, heralding the beginning of the end of the festival. Enthusiastic shouts can be heard from the crowds scattered around the school grounds celebrating them. For minutes on end, Hanako and I watch the fireworks overhead as Lily blissfully listens to them with her eyes shut. Red, green, yellow, star-shaped, circular and pattern, and all manner of shapes and colors fill the air one after the other, and then across the sky. It's been a while since I've seen fireworks. Yeah. No place near where I lived put on such lavish display. Festivals like this were a thing of the past in such a metropolitan area. To be seeing such a sight with these two, it's probably the happiest I've been in a long while. Yeah. So that's it. The festival's finally ending. Yeah. She gives a delicate, wishful sigh. As much as I might complain about all the stuff we have to do, it's still sad that we'll have graduated before the next Yamaku festival. I walk forward and stand beside Lily, gently resting my hand on her shoulder. Don't worry, we still have a Tanabata later in the year, right? You're right. It would be nice to go there when it comes. Minutes of silence pass, with only the blast of the fireworks to be heard. Seeing these two remind me of those words of advance Lily had given me as we walk into town together. Cherish the opportunity to make new friends, huh? Hey, Lily. She turns her head slightly to show that she's listening. Hanako's gaze still firmly fixed on the Technicolor fireworks bursting overhead. You mind if I join you two for tea every now and again? The smile on her face is more than enough to see her answer. It would be a pleasure, Hisao. Nice. Okay. We still have a lot of choices. Oh, what? Okay. Nice. Nice. This looks nice. It's a animated cutscene. I didn't know there was gonna be that. Okay, so it's showing this. Okay, they meet up with that. Okay. What's going on? Wow. Okay, we're in Act 2 now. That was Act 1? Okay. I didn't know there was multiple acts, but it's still quite almost done. There's still 6 more choices until I reach the end. But still, Act 2 passed. What's that mean? But yeah, that was great. I'm gonna continue Act 2 now, just so I can, because I said I was gonna try to finish Lily's Path. If I don't manage to finish it, then I will, finish it tomorrow. But we'll see. Okay. I walk to the annoying din of my alarm clock. It's bright red numerals lighting up my face. But yeah, it's still strange, because there's only 6 more choices left, and we're in Act 2. I don't know how many acts there are, and I don't remember them saying that. I don't remember that it's separating the choices between Act 1 and Act 2. Because yeah, I don't really get it. Because if there's only 6 more choices and we get like a choice like a day, so I believe it might not be a day then. Maybe. Well, some choices were multiple days. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when I get there. We'll see. It's the same alarm clock I had at home. One of the few remaining artifacts from my days before coming to Yamaku. I'd hoped that using it would help ease my transition into this new life. No such luck, though. Groggily dragging myself out of bed, I wipe the sleep out of my eyes. Then reach over to my desk. I open a couple of the bottles of medication strewn across it and swallow a few pills dry. By now, the process is starting to become automatic. Something I should be glad for, given the purpose. Okay. Feeling much more awake than before I wander into the bathroom. While the shower warms up, my mind begins to wander as my new daily routine begins once again. The bright colors of the fireworks fill my mind, as do the two girls with whom I spent my time watching them. I feel strange to be moved so much by people I know so little about. Then again, I suppose these aren't normal circumstances. At least I have someone to talk to now, aside from my schoolmate next door. But yeah, it's like, is it just gonna go through the entire week again? Is Act 2 just gonna be a week? Because Act 1 was like an entire week. I don't know, I've already said we'll see, so I need to stop talking about this. But whatever, I'm still wondering. With time left before school began today, waning, I begin to get ready for class. Hold up, let me save real quick. And does it say what today is? Current scene Earl Grey. It doesn't say what day it is. I remember somewhere where it said what day of the week it was. I don't know where that was though. I don't know. I don't know what day of the month it is or what month it is. Walking through the door into the classroom, I noticed that I'm still somewhat early. I see about 5 or 6 students milling around, most of them looking as if they'd rather be still in bed. It's at times like this that I appreciate being a morning person. That said, 2 students in particular seem just as perky as always. Hi Shizune, hi Misha. I suddenly realized that my greeting would be lost on the former, so I quickly follow it up with a wave. She doesn't seem overly bothered. Or interested, for that matter. Hello, Heek-chan, are you feeling well? I can only assume her greeting comes from Shizune. It's hard to tell if she's speaking as herself or Shizune sometimes. Better than most everyone else. I guess, you two seem bright and chipper. Yeah, right. Misha signs this back to Shizune as I say it, electing a somewhat terse answer if her sharp and rapid arm movements are an indication. Considering that these two made such a big deal out of the festival preparations, I probably should have chosen my words more carefully. Since you're a new student, we've been cutting you some slack. Please don't expect this kind of task dodging to be allowed in the future. Misha looks as if she's about to add her own comment, but quickly goes back to interpreting as Shizune continues unbaiting. Okay. While your contributions to Class 3-2's stall is appreciated, word sure got around quickly. These two have their fingers on the pulse of the school. We would prefer your efforts be focused on the task at hand, namely your own class. As much as I hate to admit it, they do have a point. Before I can respond, I thought Shizune adds something more, which draws a smile from Misha. What? Did you enjoy the festival then? Lecture over, I guess. Yeah, it was good. Did you two enjoy it? Shizune gives a short nod as Misha grins and bounces her head up and down. The contrast side by side is amusing. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice more students starting to trickle into the classroom. A quick glance at my watch confirms that they're a few minutes late. I look over to Hanako's seat and realize that she's already there and contentedly reading a book. It makes me wonder just how long she's been there without me noticing. With heavy footsteps coming up the hallway, signaling Mutao's arrival, our idle talking comes to an end and I take my seat next to Misha. As the door slides open, he strides through with a ponderous gait. His posture is even worse than usual, and his eyes are barely staying open. I guess my quip to Lily and Hanako are about the same, or about the staff was misplaced. Everyone opens their books as he reaches his desk, and the first class of the new week begins. I rub my eyes as the lunch bell rings out, glad for the temporary reprieve from work. I'm entirely unsurprised when I look over to the door and see Lily standing there, cane in hand, patiently waiting for Hanako. Considering her acceptance of my request to join them yesterday, I decided to spend my lunchtime with them rather than eat alone. Hanako moves surprisingly fast to meet her companion, and the two enter the hallway before I can catch up. Lily's head turns slightly, registering the sound of footsteps behind her. As Hanako notices and follows her lead, she almost jumps in surprise. Hisao? Hello, Hisao. Hi, sorry if I startled you. Lily turns to greet me, helped in her orientation by Hanako. Good afternoon, Hisao. Are you joining us? If it's no trouble, there's not much else to do, really. Lily gives a small nod, as if to silently brush away any idea that it would be trouble in the least. We descend one set of stairs and walk down the hallway to the usual room. Our pace is somewhat quicker than usual, thanks to Lily using Hanako for directions, rather than her cane and the railings. As expected, it's deserted. The sound of the other clubs can only barely be heard, as sunlight streams into the room from outside. Looking around the room, I notice a couple of empty easels propped up against the wall that I don't think were there before. The York Club must use this room as extra storage. Should I get the chess set out? Hanako's voice seems less tense when she's directly addressing Lily. Yes, I'll make tea while you sort the pieces. I can do that for you if you like. She ponders the offer for a moment before smiling, confirming that I've made the right choice. Her face is remarkably easy to read. Very well, thank you. Okay. She slides her retracted cane into the handle of her bag and sets it against one of the table legs before taking a seat opposite Hanako. As I prepare tea for the three of us, I can hear the small wooden pieces being set on the board. I wonder how good Lily is at chess, given her circumstances. By the time I place the steaming teacup onto the table, Lily and Hanako have already moved their first piece as they nibble on sandwiches and rice balls from their respective bags. Chess. I note that the chessboard they're using has holes in the middle of each square and pegs on the bottom of the pieces that have each dark square slightly raised. Yeah. Which Lily's fingers skate over the board, tracing out the position of the pieces, making me marvel a little at the simple ingenuity of the design. It must be specifically made for blind players. Yeah. Here you go. Yes. Nice. Let me hide this. There's a chessboard on the table now. Yay. Okay. Nice. Hanako gives a small nod as I put down the cup next to her. Next to her side on the board. Lily's hand ventures sideways slightly, so I I gently place the cup, touching the tip of her finger, a gesture she seems to appreciate. I finally take a seat and silently sip my tea as the two play. The contrast in their appearances while playing is interesting to watch. Hanako looks closely at the board, her face one of focused concentration. Lily, on the other hand, keeps her head level and maintains her calm neutrality. Lily's gentle voice addresses both of us as she continues to play. How was class? Now that the festival's over? I look to Hanako to see whether she'll answer first, but see that she's doing the same. And not great. Half the class seemed to be dozing off, even including the teacher, not to mention the test on top of that. Hanako quietly adds her own agreement with this. I could imagine that being a bit difficult for you, being a transfer student. Well, I think I did fine. Other than the shock of a test coming so early, science is probably my best subject. How'd you do, Hanako? Me? Okay, I guess. Hanako's too sincere to be able to pull off lying very well. That much is obvious. Lily's smile sips very slightly from her reaction. Hanako mustn't be skilled enough at academics to do very well without preparation, whatever. How did your class handle it? It went surprisingly well, actually. Only one student was absent, which was better than what the teacher expected. With the topic all but run dry, the two concentrate on their chess game once again. I know who was absent. It was Kenji. I can't say I've ever liked the idea of chess as a spectator sport, but given its unique nature, for once I'm wrapped in watching the game unfold. Yeah, chess boxing recently happened with Ludwig and stuff like that, you know? I watched some of the live stream. I didn't watch... Well, I watched the first... Well, I didn't watch... Okay. I watched the first... The live stream when the introductions were going on and stuff like that. And I watched some of the clips from the boxing stuff. And, yeah. As time wears on, both of them demonstrate decent skills at playing the game. Having captured 2 more pawns than Hanako, Lily has the upper hand, but only slightly. Until Hanako makes a strange move with her queen. Seizing upon this lapse in judgment, Lily takes the piece with her knight. Without hesitation, Hanako moves a pawn to take Lily's rook on the opposite side of the board and promotes it to queen. Opposite side of the board and promotes it to queen. Hold up. Lily takes Hanako moves a pawn. Okay, I was confused. Okay. Yeah, pawn. She's a pawn. Lily's face falters as her fingers move over the pieces, and she realizes that she just fell to Hanako's trap. It's a little distracting to have the board traced out after each move, even if it's out of necessity. Judging by Hanako's lack of reaction, she must be used to this. She and Lily must have played at least a few games of chess against each other, after all. Check. That's not bad at all. Nice, Hanako. The compliment causes her to flower into a surprise blush. Thank you. I didn't think it would work. I look over to Lily. Her fingers having just finished tracing out the position of her remaining pieces in an attempt to extract her king from this bind. I think this is checkmate. I take another look at the board to confirm. Sure enough, her king has nowhere to escape without being threatened by another piece. My earlier question as to which of them is better at this has just been answered. So it is. Lily gives a small sigh as Hanako smiles. From their reaction, this seems like a fairly usual result. How long have you two been playing? Since I was young. Lily nods at Hanako's brief answer. Hanako taught me how to play soon after I met her. I can beat her every now and then, but that's a rarity. I don't seem to have the right mindset for it. If Lily came to Yamaku at the start of high school, I met Hanako when she moved to dorms, that means she's only been playing for about 1 year. After seeing Hanako's level of play, I'm not too surprised Lily has trouble beating her. But she's better at language than I am, so... Lily gives an appreciative, if slightly amused, smile at Hanako's quick reversal of her compliment. Well, that's how it is. Much over and surprised, the bell suddenly rings, heralding the end of the lunch break. That game lasted longer than I thought it did. Same, I guess we better get back to class. Hanako's already in the middle of packing up, so I take Lily's bag and offer it to her. I'm surprised she takes it and nods, and then places it back down on the table. Isao, may I make a request? Sure, go ahead. Would you mind if I were to quickly feel your face? Ayo? Oh, no, go ahead. I don't mind. The question takes me severely off guard, but once I regain my composure, it seems sensible enough. So far, Lily's had no idea what I actually look like, and this would be her only way to find out. Yo, okay, this looks nice. Nice, great. Lily raises her right hand, which I take in mine and guide to my face before letting go. The room is entirely silent as Lily's hand moves over and around my features, from my chin to my cheek to everywhere else. I expected this to feel a lot more disquieting from it than it does. I suppose that's because the action is entirely a matter of practically being functional, no different to simply looking at someone's face. Her hand is soft, but what takes me by surprise is the length of her fingers, not to mention how sure even the slightest of her movements are. I've no doubt that her level of tactical feeling would be far beyond mine. Her hand briefly runs once through my hair before retreating. I'm sure that every inch of my face has been committed to her memory. It's only now, too, that I realize Hanako has been silently watching the entire time. Yeah, she was just there. Thank you for letting me do that, Hisao. And if I might add, I think you are quite handsome. I blush a little at her remark, before raising a questioning eyebrow. But if you can't see, how? Just because I can't see, that doesn't mean I don't have my own preferences. We'd better go now. Yeah, that's a good point. I guess we'll see you later then, Lily. Walking through the hallways back to our classrooms, I noticed that Hanako seems quieter than before, but also more comfortable. Lily, her hand on Hanako's shoulder seems to pick up on her assured pace as well, smiling as they walk. If I could spend the rest of my time at Yamaku like this, I don't think it'd be so bad. All that's needed for joy are small exchanges of happiness, after all. Okay. As I reach my desk and set my bag beside it, I realize something, or rather my stomach does. I was so busy with those two I forgot to buy lunch. Yeah. You forgot to buy lunch. It's already the next day. Katawa Shoujo. Okay. It's what day is it? Saturday, my second most favorite day of the week. What? It's already what? Okay. Okay. This act is going by fast. It's already Saturday. It was just one. Was it Monday? I'm pretty sure it was Monday, right? Because they're talking about the festival, and it's not like they would have went through an entire week without talking about it. So it was Monday. So now it's Saturday. Nice. I'm gonna continue reading. I'm getting tired, but I'm gonna try to read more. Saturday, my second most favorite day of the week. This is almost entirely due to the fact that it is the day with the second least amount of school, with class ending at the beginning of lunch. I open my door confidently, myself being more than confident to be of being able to get enjoyment out of the fine weather and shorter class length. I confidently stride down the hallway and down the stairs to the lobby of the male's dorms. I confidently look behind me to see whose footsteps are approaching. No. I lose my confidence in this day being enjoyed. No! Hey, man, sup? Not much, I guess. Just looking forward to the afternoon. You? He wrapped his arm around my slumped shoulders. I'm far too comfortably. Something's up. Let's step outside, shall we? I was just about to before he stopped me. That's the finished painting. He doesn't take my reaction to his theoreticals well. Ignoring him, I walk outside and start down the steps. It doesn't take too long for him to catch up with me again. I wonder if he wants money or to rant about another conspiracy. Maybe both. I've got a bone to pick with you. That's about that blonde. You know who I'm talking about. Conspiracy it is. For a moment, I contemplate feigning ignorance, but realize this will go quicker if I just let him get it out. Okay. Lily, the one from your class. You're on first name terms with her. He looks positively shocked at this development. Did you not expect me to be able to answer? He gathers himself and coughs into his fist, dramatically, like everything he does. Well, never mind that. I'm here to warn you. You know, man to man. Warn me about what? Lily? Yeah, you know her name, man. It's mostly true. I've only known her and Hanako for less than 2 weeks. And even then, we've just been exchanging banal chatter about school as we while away. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure you don't either. That's not the point. You're the one spending inordinate amount of time with her. It distresses me that someone like Kenji, who's probably as far out of the loop as one could possibly get, knows about such a trivial fact as who I choose to be a friend. Then again, I'm a transfer student, and she's not only the representative of their class, but also a tall blonde. Maybe I should appreciate this ranting as a warning that the rumor a mill exists in the school and that I'm firmly within it. It's just lunch, nothing special. Look, man, under the bridge. See this bridge? You're under it, you're under it. A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do to get intel. I just want to make sure you don't end up too far under the bridge. Okay. Hold up. You're losing me, Kenji. That's okay. Lots of people get lost. That's why I'm here to help. Just be careful around her, okay? She looks all harmless on the outside, but I've heard shit. Bad shit. You know the student council, right? He seems to involuntarily shudder as he says the words. Putting him and Shizune together in a room is an amusing mental exercise. I wonder if they've met. Yeah, Shizune and Misha are my class. I seem to have dodged a draft, though. Good man, good man. But this blonde, she was there in the student council, right? Damn, there! I see. And she's not there now! Seriously, think about it. Something must have gone down. I stopped walking for a moment, giving the idea more thought than I probably should. It would explain the fight the two had, at least in part. Wait, no, not really. Even leaving the student council would need a catalyst. In the end, it doesn't explain much at all, other than the fact that their feud goes back some ways. I guess you have a point. I'm not seeing how that really affects me though. Okay, now field this one. Lily's foreign, obviously. Now, what nationality is she? I open my mouth to give the answer. I realize that I have none, in fact. I've given the matter very little thought. I don't know. American? Given that she has no accent and acts perfectly Japanese, I suppose it's never really seemed important. Now that he mentions it though, I'm rather curious. I don't know, Japanese American? To be honest, I don't know. Maybe English? They like tea. I probably shouldn't resort to stereotypes, but that's the only lead I have. You're not thinking. Luckily, you have me here to think for you. Gee, thanks. He brushes off the quip effortlessly. Now answer me this. Who has lots of social power, is filthy, stinky rich. I know blondes are all rich, right? Has a long history to dispute and used to belong to a much larger organization. The Roman Catholic Church? Well, okay, there's that. But there's also the mafia! Come on, rich, foreign, there is no way she doesn't have connections to them. I have reasons to doubt the logic of his deduction, but he shows no sign of stopping. So do you know where I think she's from? Italy? Mainland Italy, small time, dude. She has to be from Sicily. I don't know. All those mafiosos types come from there. Wait, no, Russia. Damn, this could be bad. The mafia there is serious business, man. Ex-KGB everywhere. Paramilitaries, hardcore smuggling, and... Wait, stop. Just slow down for a sec. What point are you trying to get at here? You don't know what she'll do, man. I won't get in your way. Agents don't operate like that. But I just want you to be careful. When the time comes, we'll need all the help we can get. I don't want to lose you, comrade. Well, at least he's concerned for me, kinda. I wave goodbye to him as we separate out to our respective classes, but I'm not sure that he sees the gesture. Okay. I'm piling the books into my bag. I catch a glimpse of the library books I'd borrowed last week. I might as well return them, considering they took all of 2 days to finish. I briefly consider inviting Hanako along to the library, but she's already gone. It'll probably be better for me studying if I'm alone anyway. With a quick stretch and a wave to a couple of classmates who gives the same to me, I make my way out of the classroom. I want to get another choice. Hurry up and give me another choice. As I open my bag and shove the books through the return slot in the front counter, I notice a strange person behind the desk. Old and graying, she must be Yuko's replacement when she's working at the cafe. I began looking for a free table, a task made somewhat difficult considering that despite there not being many students in here, they're all sitting at their own tables. Noticing a familiar head of hair, I walk over to one near the Braille section. It's hard to tell whether Lily's concentrating hard or not. Her placid expression holding perfectly still as her finger slides across the dot-filled pages of her book. Hi, mind if I sit here? Oh, no problem at all. She trails off, evidently still focused on her business at hand. Ah, Hisao. She gives a nod of greeting as I sit opposite her at the table. Pluck a chemistry book out of my bag and quickly thumb to the chapter we're covering in class. For a while, we sit there and read each in our own way. Seeing her reminds me of what Kenji said this morning. Though that and the fact that I've never seen her read in Braille before makes me keep throwing glances at her. I kind of feel guilty about it, even that she has no way to realize I'm doing so. So I decided to just ask her about it. Her lineage isn't exactly a stage secret, after all. And there is another thing I've only just noticed from her movements. Hey Lily, mind if I ask you a question? Not at all. Is anything wrong? I was just wondering. We're at least part foreign, right? She gives a small giggle before setting down her book. I've always been amused at how squeamish people are about that. Akari's mentioned how much she and I look different from most others before. The details are a bit complicated, but I'm half Japanese, half Scottish. Okay, she's Scottish. Scottish? That was not exactly my first guess. It takes some effort to not blurt it out loud. I try to conjure images of the place in my mind. I think as far as the UK goes, Scotland isn't bad to live in, but I'm not really sure. My first guess of England was surprisingly close, at least geographically. That does leave another question though. But you have no accent. That's where the details begin. I was born and raised in Japan, despite my mother being foreign. I get it now. Hold on, if she moved to the dorm simply to do Akari's work longer hours, so they don't live near the school. She gives me a small sign as if she didn't expect me to go any deeper. Was her previous frankness just in front? Not exactly. It's been a long time since we've actually met. I feel like I'm getting the whole story, but I don't really want to go unduly prying into the situation. Her about face shows she feels kind of awkward about it. So do you speak much English? To be honest, I don't know that much I don't know that much about Scotland, but at least I know that's the main language there. It takes her a moment to collect herself, appreciating the change in topic. That's right, my family mostly used Japanese around the house when I was young, but they made sure Akari and I knew our Scottish side just as well. I'm fluent in the language, but I'm also studying it in school to keep my skills up and to have the qualifications on paper mainly. So you're bilingual. That's pretty impressive. I wouldn't go that far. Having parents who can speak the language is a larger advantage than English books in Braille aren't too hard to buy or import. With Yuko's help, at least. I am monolingual. I can only speak one language. I'm trying to learn Japanese. That's hard. And as I never wanted to learn Spanish. My dad's side of the family is Spanish, but I grew up with my mom for the first 3 or 5 years of my life. So I grew up with my mom, and she's American. So I speak English, because I didn't grow up learning Spanish, and I never really got taught Spanish. The first time I started learning Spanish was in 6th grade, and then up until 9th and 10th grade, I took Spanish classes, and I just never really, I didn't really care much for them, so I never learned Spanish. So I'm monolingual, so I don't know any other language. There was a relatively high demand for local English teachers here anyway, which also helps give me some motivation to learn it well. Demand for English teachers? For a moment, I wonder why she brought this up. You're planning to be an English teacher? She gives an enthusiastic nod. It must be nice having such a definite future in mind. I've never really given much thought to mine, so I'm kind of envious. What's wrong? It's just, I could see you as a teacher pretty easily. It suits you. For a moment, she's speechless. She lowers her face a little and lets out a nervous giggle. Something I've never seen her do before. With Lily's role as a class representative and her dependable nature, teaching does seem to be a line of work fitting her personality. Sorry, that was probably a little much. It is true, though. Waving her hand in front of her face dismissively, she quickly recovers. It's not that. It's just that only one person's ever said that to me before. A short, somewhat awkward silence follows the discussion without knowing it. I ended up steering into a troublesome topic again. I should try to cheer her up a little. It was me who went and got her brooding after all. Want to go grab lunch at the cafeteria after this? It might perk her up a bit, or at least take her mind off her apparently complicated family situation. Going by her smile, it seems to have the intended effect. I appreciate the thought, but the food there... quite a quick redirection of the conversation. She does have a point, though. The food there isn't the greatest. Maybe the Shanghai? We could ask Hanako if she wants to come as well. What is it? I almost forgot until you reminded me. Hanako's birthday's coming up soon, and I was going to go shopping in the city for a present tomorrow. If that's an invitation, I'd be happy to accompany you. The ability to get more used to the layout of the city would probably be a good thing. I have barely set foot in there, so I'd be hopelessly lost by myself. She gives a nod, signaling that she happily approves of this plan for Sunday. We eventually get back to our books, though before I begin reading again, I steal one last glance at her. Maybe I've been thinking on my situation too much. After all, everybody here would have their own unique circumstances. The chance to get outside and clear my head will probably do me good. Okay. It's the next day. And guys, I am I'm going to end the video here. This video is long. It's about 1 minute and 30 minutes, or 1 hour and 30 minutes. And we are going shopping with Lily next time. We save. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing next time. Shopping with Lily. I'm going to try to record that video tomorrow. I wanted to get a choice this video, but I didn't get a single choice. So yeah, this act is going to be going by a lot faster because I think every video I made last act was a single day. Apart from last video, which was a day and a half, and then I finished that day and I did another day in this video, so it's another day and a half today. But either way, yeah. This went by fast, went from Monday to Saturday, now it's Sunday. So I don't know if I'll be able to finish it tomorrow, so I'm probably going to have to wait until I get back from my week-long trip. So guys, I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And of course, I will see you all in the next video. Peace out and bye-bye.